Less than 24 hours after CNN aired the first joint interview with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, Bill Maher had some thoughts on the questions Dana Bash asked the duo. The host kicked off the latest episode of Real Time by asking the audience if they watched the Thursday night sit-down interview with the Harris, the Democratic presidential candidate, and Tim Walz, her emotional support vice president. "It was a little odd," Maher quipped. "He was just sitting there for a very long time without saying anything. He was just nodding while she did all the talking. The women's focus group said he must be a wonderful husband, but really, it just kept going and he was saying nothing. It was like watching Jeopardy when one of the players can't work the buzzer." The comedian noted that prior to the CNN interview, the media had been furious that Harris hadn't done any extensive interviews with national outlets since launching her campaign for the White House after Joe Biden stepped down in July. However, Maher said, "Now she finally does, and not a single question about abortion, Ukraine, the homeless, the opioid crisis, the national debt. And then they wonder why the kids get their news from TikTok," the host joked. Maher also thinks major news outlets always ask the stupidest question in the world. "What would you do on day one? You know, it's not that kind of a fucking job, okay? It's just not that kind of a job." "I would just one time love to hear somebody go, 'You know what I'd do? I'd unpack some boxes and I'd get dressed for the inaugural party like anybody else," the comedian added. Harris and Walz's first televised interview together on CNN drew 6.31 million viewers, according to final same-day ratings from Nielsen. The Democratic presidential did discuss some of her plans for helping middle-class Americans, as well as brushed off a question about Donald Trump's race comments, telling Bash, "Same old, tired playbook." On Real Time, Maher also noted that Trump, of course, had to shit-tweet while he was watching the CNN interview, calling it boring. However, the comedian said he wants some boring, adding, "It's Harris-Walz, not Deadpool and Wolverine." The guests featured on the latest episode of Maher's HBO show were Representative Nancy Pelosi, John McWhorter, and Peter Hamby.